and modern. Public transit, photos waiting. Blue words on smooth on talking shirt. Brother, just keep walking.
The baggy green is the most iconic symbol in Australian sport. The owner of this baggy green stood in the centre of a team that might well be the greatest in our nation's history. Adam Gilchrist was a swashbuckling, squash ball holding, left-handed revolutionary on the cricket field. But for a man who made 10,334 first-class runs, he sure walked a lot.
Adam, I've got to call you Adam because...
Just don't call me Adam, please.
Gilly, will I go with Gilly?
If you're calling me Adam, I'll call you Robert.
Oh, okay, I'll cut you a deal.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, mate. In your home, thanks so much for having
Pleasure,
us.
mate, yeah.
I want to ask you about the baggy green. It's sort of at another level of symbology, I guess. Do you feel that in your hand when they hand you the baggy green? Is that something you feel emotionally?
Without doubt. It is an iconic emblem of Australia, not just Australian sport. It's very much part of our identity. I think the baggy green cap's been synonymous with many, many highs and many, many lows. It's, you know, I don't think it's over-dramatising it to say that Donald Bradman helped Australia through a depression, through achievements, along with teammates, in that baggy green cap, and many successes, and more recently, you know, some really, really disappointing, almost shameful times. So that sort of ball tampering situation only reinforced to me and to a lot of people of what standing the baggy green cap has in our society and our psyche. It
became part of that conversation, didn't it, around what the baggy green means, and that this had bruised that that symbol.
Definitely.
How did you feel in the seeing the pictures?
I just could not believe it. Stunned, shocked, then angry, without knowing any real answers or explanations. So,
is it because part of it is part of that the custodian?
Yeah,
that it's passed on, and you were part of that. You were.
I think there's an element of that. Again, without, you know, the last thing I wanted to ever have anyone think that I was feeling hard done by, that, you know, I'm upset. I mean, you know, stepping right back, it's got nothing to do with me, what's went over there. But you do feel a connection, a strong connection.
I think there's a standing there of, we all have an attachment, an emotional attachment to the baggy green as a symbol. You actually have one. There's one in this room. You've worn it, bled for it. Gilly, you've played cricket on any number of grounds all over the globe, but are there any that stand out in your mind, any sort of picturesque, romantic ovals that your mind goes to?
Any number of venues in India. Northern India, there's a place called Dharamshala.
Okay.
It's right at the foothills of the Himalayan mountains. So it's the Tibetan refuge in India. It's where the Dalai Lama's residence is. And it's... I don't know if I'm the most spiritual person in the world, but when you get up there and spend a week there, you are just pieced out. You can't help but become embraced. You're floating around. Probably a lot to do with what they're smoking up there. It probably makes you float a bit more, but it is stunning countryside. Amazing stories to be told just from sitting at the coffee shop talking to these young Tibetan guys about their trek from Tibet through the mountains to get to where they are, what they feel is a safe haven there. Fascinating. The most picturesque ground. Pristine, clear day, blue skies, bowler running in and you're batting, and then you look above the bowler's arm and then there's snow-capped mountains of the Himalayan mountains, and just brilliant. And the Lama, the Dalai Lama himself came along to a game.
He's a big hitter.
He's long, isn't he? He's long off the tee. I know where you're going with that. So, yeah.
I'm glad you saved me with that.
He's got no idea about cricket, though, the Lama. He just sort of looks at the gear and giggles and smiles, and we all feel better for being in his presence.
I want to ask you about drop catches in cricket. I love my...
Pretty familiar with those,
I think everyone is. But, I mean, I love my sport, and I've often wondered, what's the worst feeling you can have in sport? And I'm thinking, you know, a drop catch in cricket had a special... sort of acidic taste to it.
Absolutely.
Is that...
That's a good description, actually. and it's not one that washes out of your mouth very, very quickly or easily. Clearly there's a self-disappointment or personal disappointment, but you've let everyone down. Particularly if it's a hot Saturday afternoon. And this is the thing, at any level of cricket, doesn't need to be at the WACA or the MCG. Big bowler charging in, you haven't got a breakthrough for a few hours. Snick, bang, down it goes. And it's often not what anyone does say after you drop a catch.
That's the silence.
It's the silence.
Yeah.
It's deafening. And then the body language.
When I watch cricket, I feel sick for someone when they drop a catch.
Yeah.
My heart
Even a
goes out
golden
to them.
duck, that's a real personal stake through the heart. But there's 10 other blokes to bat, and but just you've let so many people down in dropping a catch.
Yeah.
Tell me, what in footy, what's the equivalent? What's the lowest you can go as far as letting either yourself or the teammate down?
I think there was Brad Sewell wrote something, the Hawthorn player, Brad Sewell, premiership player, he wrote something in the paper once, and it was the greatest fear for a footballer is to show fear. I always thought that was... Because it's attached to a real... the emotion of courage.
Yeah,
so
the physicality of it. Yeah.
To have one of those moments is really soul-destroying. Everyone's had them.
Yep.
Everyone's had them, some worse than others.
Yeah.
And the sense of shame never leaves you.
Yeah.
It is that. And
is that something that can be addressed? Someone drops a catch whilst it takes a while to simmer down on the field, and eventually a discussion will be and it might be straight away. Look, head up, don't worry about it. It's a tough one.
I think in football, it's a bit less
tougher one to address
because it's quicker. There's not the time for things to. That's why the psychology of that verbal intimidation is a real thing. Whereas on the football field, it is a thing, but it's too quick.
Yep.
It's too. Yeah, sort of things move on pretty quick.
Absolutely. No, there's a lot of think time in cricket. A lot of think, like horrible amount.
I want you to take me into the dressing room before a big test. So the morning of a big test match, let's say it's Boxing Day.
Yep.
Was it real fear?
Yeah.
It had to be.
Please
tell me it is, because I got scared playing at Birregurra.
The bowler I feared most was not a physical intimidation, was more psychologically and almost to a point of embarrassment, was Murley.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't pick him.
Yeah.
So he turns the ball that far both ways and I cannot pick him. So that he can make you feel like an under-10s playing in men's A grade.
Yep.
It was horrible.
Same thing's happened in footy with Cyril Rioli. There's a couple of times where I've been on the ball's gone to Cyril and it's a one-on-one, he's got the ball and I'm on the wing, and it's this eye contact of, Cyril, I'll let you do whatever you want, but don't make me look silly. There's a lot of people here. I won't lunge at you if you don't give me the shimmy.
I'll tell you.
Let's cut a deal.
That's good, cut a deal. Perception, I think, because Cyril, who knew what... Yeah, Cyril might have been thinking the same thing. Very, very short, quick story about that perception and the opponent and not wanting to be embarrassed. Mike Hussey and I used to laugh at each other. Mr. Cricket. He can play anyone.
Yeah.
He studies the game. He lives it, breathes it, eats it. But him and I used to laugh at each other about how badly we played Murley.
Right.
So we'd go to the game, and in a test match, he's batting against Murley. And when he went out to bat, good luck, Huss, out there. Yeah, go get him, mate. And he goes out, and it basically went along these lines over the course of about 4 overs. Murray comes in, play and miss. Nick pass slip. Slog sweep 6. Back cut 4. LBW shout not out. Nick drop catch. Slog sweep 6. Back cut 4. So it's going back and forth. Huss walks off at tea break. He comes in the room, so I'm just cacking myself. How you going? He goes, I'm gone. He's all over me out there. I don't know what's going on. I said, well, I laughed. I just don't get out because I'm next. Because I do not need to go out there and put up with him. So I walk down to the tea room where both teams go in to get their refreshments and food and stuff. And I see Murley talking to our physio, who used to work for Sri Lanka. And I just happened to walk past and hear Murley saying, Alex, Hussey's all over me. I don't know where to bowl to him. Wow. He's smashing me. I thought, that perception, amazing, isn't it, what you think's going on, but...
fake. That's what you talk. That's the Peter Roebuck line, isn't it?
That's the cape of bravado.
Put the cape of bravado on.
Who can wear that most confidently, even with doubt underneath? They're the winners.
Yeah. Did you have time to appreciate the greatness of some of your teammates?
Yeah. Yep. when it came to Sachin Tendulkar, I had way too much time to appreciate. Know the dimensions of his arse from seeing it at close range, from wicket keeping behind him for hour after hour after hour. But Tendulkar batting, Brian Lara.
And what could you notice from a few feet away? Because you played in arguably the greatest Australian Test side we've ever seen, with the bowling attack sort of otherworldly, and then you've got guys like Lara and Tendulkar, and you're up close to them.
Well, I just think complete self-belief.
Yep.
And if they didn't believe it, they certainly put up a wonderful cape of bravado around them to make sure that they weren't exposing any uncertainties.
Yep.
Warnie, again, time. You know, how does a bowler show that he's got more time? But I don't know, I can just picture I had the best seat in the house for 10 years, just watching him come in, and he just did everything in his own time. You know, so there was nothing.
He was in control.
Total control. So total self-belief that that's his environment, and he's just going to own that and control
Part of it, he was savouring it. So
definitely.
He's the puppet master.
Yeah, but just the aura of Warnie at the top of his mark, sort of standing, you know, he's got the ball there, and he'd wait, and the bloke would be over his bat, and I'd be down in my crouch waiting, and Warnie would just wait and wait. And then the batsman would just sort of pull away, thinking, what's going on here? What's the hold-up? And just as he does that, Warnie starts running in. So then it's like, whoa, and Warnie goes, you right, mate? And like the batsman, well, hang on. So this indecision, and you know, and he just start barking things from the top of his mark.
And was his standing part of that he was Shane Warne? He was in.
Yeah, again, like all the great players, it had to start somewhere. There was a time when he wasn't.
Yeah.
Shane Warne, the aura.
Yep.
And all-encompassing, you know, entertainer that he ended up being. I mean, in his first test, he got 1 for 150.
Yeah.
So there's a point in time where he had to find that, didn't he? So I find that always interesting in looking at the great players and then going back to how they started and what sort of presence they had when they first came into it. And is anyone around identifying that, you know, they are definitely going to be a great of the game.
The great ones do seem to have something innate. They don't know that they've just got that presence. I heard a story. This story hasn't been verified, but I did hear a story.
Go with it.
Was in it's only television, of Buddy Franklin when he was young, just sort of starting out, and he spotted Wayne Carey at the bar in the nightclub and walked over and said, "Hey, Duck, I like the way you roll," and then sort of turned and apparently the Duck loved it. And that was...
That is brilliant.
You're a Carlton man. How does a boy growing up, Lismore, how does that happen? How does the game get its claws into you?
Well, primary school years, Lismore is where I spent the bulk of my time and where my parents still are, but my primary school years were in Southern Riverina, so in Deniliquin.
Yep.
So footy territory down there. You know, and at the time, back then, I'm not sure what the zonings are now. Maybe all of New South Wales might be in the Swans or GWS, is it? But
probably.
Eddie would be disappointed if that's the case, I'm sure. But sort of the 80s and 90s, and when Parkin was coaching, I loved sort of watching him. And that era, of course. And but just your initial first engagement was what I remember a lot. Harms and Zusto and Jesselenko and Dool and all those guys. You know, we didn't have the certainly in Denny there was no sports shops that had replica footy jumpers, so it was the hard yakka blue, navy blue.
It's a great footy jumper.
Yeah, singlet, and then get the hobby text out, this sort of pen, and draw the CFC on the front and the number on the back. So
did you have a number on the back?
I had 11. I had the doormat. Yeah. So
that's a good shot. So I'm a half-back flanker. So Bruce Dool is our Don Bradman.
Yeah.
For the half-back flank fraternity. Yeah. He's our guy.
I was asked by the then chairman of the Eagles to be number 1 ticket holder for the Eagles, which I knocked back purely because I wanted to stay loyal to Carlton. And it's not the thing you knock back in Perth, where it spreads very quickly. It's sort of like, what? You did what?
The Blues must be just like you're their guy now.
I don't do much for them. I live in Perth.
You know what? I think what you just said. I think that's doing enough for them. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll stay with them. They've been loyal to me, so I'll hang in there with them.
Yeah, we often saw a footy on tour with the Australian cricket team.
Absolutely.
So who was it Punter leading the charge there? He's a famous North Melbourne supporter. Warney, St Kilda man.
St Kilda. You could have trained for 3 hours and everyone just be out, like cooked, exhausted. But if a footy suddenly bounced out, that's the energy pill off your went.
It's the exact
opposite.
opposite.
The exact...
Yeah, I've got it on good authority that the Bulldogs this year, so they've got the new locker room built.
Yeah.
Perfect size for cricket, apparently. And the boys could play, couldn't they?
Yeah. I think there's... Warney
was St
around
Kilda
with,
under-19s.
Under-19s, maybe reserve, but certainly under-19s. Punter was very skillful.
He just looks like he would have been a good footballer.
Ponting can do everything. I mean, golf, I reckon Punter definitely played the wrong sport.
He could have.
And that's a big thing to say about our highest ever test run scorer. He hits a golf ball like this, no tomorrow. It's not the compliment.
It's kind of it's either the worst compliment or the nicest slap you could get. We have a tennis table at the footy club, sort of ticked off by our psychologists and our sports scientists of it's good for the reflexes, you know.
Oh, right.
So the boys ran with that. Now they play 12 hours of ping pong a day.
Got RSI.
I think there's a line where it starts to... But they're testing out that line.
I thought you were going to tell me that the table tennis was outlawed under physical grounds, because that's why the footy stopped, because it got too physical. Blokes were just too keen. And Flemmo, he invented FOCA. So it's the blend of football and soccer. So it's soccer with a football. Right. So he's known as Triple F, Foca's founding father. And it was actually a brilliant game because it meant the best footballer or the best soccer player were brought right back down to the lowest common denominator level because the bounce of a footy, whereas a soccer ball that's consistent, but too many injuries, too many blokes with spikes down their leg trying to carve into each other. And
I want to ask you about, you've had so many famous innings as a batsman, but the test match down in Hobart against Pakistan, I think in '99, with Justin Langer. And Justin Langer described it as like playing backyard cricket with your best mate. How would you describe it?
It's a good day, a good couple of days. It was, I think it was the time where that team felt like, grew in stature and thought we could really push on to some pretty special levels.
I remember feeling like that I was only teenager, 17, but I remember thinking at the time that was a big win, big moment.
Yeah, John Buchanan was great in the psychology, not just of the game of cricket, but of life. It's a pretty broad statement, but he loved challenging and engaging. He was one of those sort of slightly provocative coaches that wanted to get inside players' minds in a positive way to see them grow as a person, and that's going to help your sporting endeavour if you're sort of a bit more open-minded about a lot of things. But he certainly challenged us to... it was always about going up a level and having an Everest, if you like, and it was sort of unidentified what the Everest was, but there's always base camps.
Yep. And chipping away.
Exactly. Just trying to get to the next base camp, whatever the final outcome that we have in mind is, but we still got to keep climbing towards that, and one day we'll find it. I'm not sure we ever did, but it's a good way to keep that group motivated. And that was the first challenge. He said around the room before the first test, what do you guys want to get out of this summer? 6 test matches, 3 versus Pakistan, 3 versus India, and Damien Fleming's name keeps coming up, but he's a resident joker. He's just a joke, actually, but he said, I want to sing the song 6 times, which we only sing the song after a test match win.
Yep.
And everyone sort of went, what? Flem? It's ridiculous. Like, you're not going to win 6 out of 6 test matches. It's going to be rain, there's going to be... might lose one, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went through and we did. We clean swept it, and I reckon on the back of that win, from a unwinnable position, the team grew in amazing confidence and belief that we could pull something out when needed, and went on to win 16 in a row.
You mentioned the reference of Damien Fleming talking about the wanting to sing the song, under the Southern Cross. That's part of the mythology of the Australian cricket team, isn't it? Do you feel that? Because there's so much intrigue outside, and I'm intrigued about the cricket dressing rooms and the Australian cricket dressing rooms about what goes on. But the song after the Test match win is very special, isn't it? It
is very special, and it's something that's been really well passed on, a legacy that's been very, very well and I guess without over-dramatising it, caringly passed on from generation to generation. And I think they're the little special things in sport that make it what it is. Those historical legacies are really important. It's part of the storytelling and the journey. They're the fleshy bits around the skeleton of sport. The Australian Test team, as a general rule, have withheld allowing too many people to be a part of that. Yep. That's one of the sacred parts of being in that team.
Not everything's to be shared.
So, and look, I'm like yourself in retire player mode and TV, part of TV broadcast and network, so we would love to take our viewers deeper and deeper inside. You guys have been through that too as a footy club with the Year of the Dog and that inner sanctum stuff. That's one thing I think the Australian Test team can be proud of, that part of it. There's been change room access in general and more access to players, but singing of the song...
The sacred space and the ritual nature of
around that. The biggest memories that I have, are of all those moments when people say, what do you reflect on in your career? You don't remember so-and-so hitting that winning run or that catch or that wicket. You remember the change rooms and the rubbish that you spoke in there, and then the celebrations and then some of the great team celebrations of singing the song, some of the venues. We were very fortunate to be in a successful era. So primarily through my career, Ricky Ponting originally, Justin Langer were the custodians of the song. They started getting funky with it, taking it, rather than just in the change rooms, taking it on the road. In Cape Town in South Africa, we won obviously down at Newlands at the ground, but we actually ended up doing the song on top of Table Mountain.
Wow.
At about midnight.
We're both walkers.
Right.
But I am...
What did you base your decision on to be a walker?
Mine was... I don't think mine was one of morality.
Right.
Mine was one of, I expect this. I expect to go out any minute. There it is.
Yeah, just go
off, and then be told in the sheds afterwards, we didn't even hear you hit it, but off you went.
Yeah.
Where did that sense of morality come for you? Because I wouldn't suggest you expected to go out in the same manner I did.
Well, sometimes it's tough to not walk when 3 stumps are splayed across the ground. Hard to stand there and mark centre and go, play on. I reckon it stemmed from my parents, the foundations of what you grew up believing or having taught to you, and so I think that's the original point. Rod Marsh took us on a tour around Australia playing against second 11s, and there was this wily old leg spinner bowling to me, and I went back and tried to play this cut shot, smashed it straight in the keeper's gloves, got given not out. I remember just disbelief that the umpire couldn't give it out because it was such a big nick. And they were all spewing.
Throwing the toys out.
Mind you, the leggy, the bowler, didn't really react too much, but everyone else, all the younger guys were hopping into me, and I then put up...
Leggy, his heart was broken years ago.
I suspect that was broken in Sydney grade cricket when he was getting pounded by a state player or Australian player. But I go on and get 100, and he comes in. This guy comes in, the leggy, at the end of the day. He comes, well played, mate. All good. And I just went, I said, I'm so embarrassed. Sorry about that out there. He goes, don't worry about it. He says, it obviously means more to you at the moment than it does to me. And I just, that was like a dagger in the heart. Sort of this, at what cost do you...
what's the...
Do you do things? And I didn't on that moment go, right, I'm going to walk no matter
I'm
what.
now-
But I'll never forget
thou
that.
shalt not.
Yeah, I didn't have it as a crusade or campaign to do, but I suppose that wedged somewhere in the back.
I know, I've got a few mates of mine who coach junior sport. I think those sort of things do help because I think we sometimes lose our way a bit with the gamesmanship and sportsmanship. It's a pretty powerful image, I think. Would you walk in a backyard cricket game if we fire up the barbecue after this and open the esky?
I'm not even slightly interested in walking in backyard cricket.
You played for such a long time and now you're watching cricket, commentating, and you'll be with us on Fox Cricket. What is it about the game? How do you find watching it and trying to get inside the game?
Oh, I'm loving it, really loving it. I wasn't sure whether commentary or broadcasting was where I was suited, whether it's what I wanted to do or whether I was appropriate for it. But loving the balance of appreciating and respecting the player's point of view, but also trying to find ways to make it more enticing and engaging for the viewers. And that's the challenge of every broadcaster, isn't it? Yeah,
trying to get inside and convey that.
Because at the end of the day, the magic and the action is on the field. It is the current players, and the levels are getting more and more elevated, and the entertainment, they are the entertainers, and it's telling the stories around that.
Well, it's going to be great to have you in the sheds at Fox Cricket. Thanks so much for chatting today.
Loved it.
A real thrill of mine to chat with a fellow left-hander.
Yeah, leggy though.
That's it.
Wouldn't mind keeping, do you?
And I'm walking down the hallway and I could hear people clapping and cheering. And I looked over and there was the legends of the club standing up and they were clapping. Paul Kelly, Darren Crizzle, Dale Lewis. Plugger was out the front with the nutritionist with his top off, holding up a cricket bat, and he'd just got 100 of his skin folds. And I just went, this is the club for me.